Thing for me.
It is Monday, November 7th, and we're back with Strictly Auburn. I'm here with the usual Eli Lingo and Connor King. How we doing, fellas?
Great.
A lot better now after that win.
Speaking of that
Oh
win,
yeah.
number 15 Auburn defeated George Mason 70-52 right down the road in Neville Arena. I was there with Connor. Eli, where were you at?
I was actually covering it for Eagle Eye, man. I was on the baseline getting some video.
Dude, it looked,
Yes,
it looked,
sir.
it looked
It was
cool.
good.
It looked cool
Yeah.
down there. Connor, I know
It
it
was
was your first game.
Yeah, even though we were playing George Mason, it wasn't any opponent that was too scary. It was still electric. It was cool seeing the student section do their thing tonight, and it was just cool to be in Neville Arena for our first win of the season.
Dude, a bad football season and a lot of waiting. But man, the jungle is a terrifying place to play. I mean, we weren't sitting in the student
Absolutely.
section. We were sitting like above the student section. So it wasn't as loud where we were sitting, but it was still rocking for an opening night game. Eli, you were on the floor. Could you hear a lot of that energy? Do you feel it?
Dude, I mean, oh my gosh, I could feel the ground shake. I mean, the AU Jungle never disappoint. They had a great showing. I mean, people were lining up 2 hours before the game. A lot of people came. The attendance was through the roof. It was a great atmosphere for sure. I'm excited for the rest of the games ahead.
Dude, this team is just fun. Like
It
it's
is
just
fun.
a fun team. I mean, they played really, really hard. They were up. They had a big lead in the first half, and they kind of sold that away as George Mason went on a 13-2 run to close out the first half. But I mean, second half was a different story. Auburn came out firing, and they put it away, winning by 18 points. So, yeah, that was kind of the story of the game. What did you guys see in that? What did you
Yeah, a
guys see in
little.
that first half, though? Like when George Mason went on that run.
I would say I think a lot of the depth that we are using, they're not
Hmm.
super used to playing with each other. So maybe just see first game jitters. I know we had that expedition game, but George Mason isn't a bad team. They shot pretty well. I think what you saw in the first half is just trying to get used to each other, trying to get a feel for how it is in the jungle, and just a little bit of first game jitters. But we kicked it up the second half and put it on them.
Yeah, I mean, Connor, we were talking about it when we were there. Our free throw shooting, that
Yeah,
was pretty bad to
Yeah.
say the least.
a little disappointing.
What'd you think of that?
I thought the free throw shooting was awful. If we want to be a top 10 team, a team that goes to the Elite Eight, wins the SEC tournament, we need to learn how to shoot free throws. I can make free throws. Obviously, I know it's tough. You're in the middle of the game, you're tired, your mind's on 1,000 different things, but just take a deep breath and make your free throws, Auburn players. But besides that, I didn't think we had a bad first half. I thought offensively we forced a lot of stuff that we didn't need to. Um, we need to use our full 30 seconds for possession and get a good shot in. I saw a lot of forced shots, a lot of forced drives that weren't necessary. But defensively, we played great. We rebounded the ball well. We were playing really good in transition as well. And we had a few big plays too, so I don't have that many complaints tonight.
I mean, Janai Broom, speaking of defensively, him and Dylan Cardwell, they played, I mean, you can't say enough. Janai had 4 blocks. Cardwell had 5. He had 5 blocks in just 13 minutes of play. So those two guys
Well, we
this whole
yeah
season
It's
are going to
great.
be animals.
we mentioned that on our preview for the
Yeah.
season. We said, hey, watch out for Janai and Dylan to be switching in at center, and they proved us right. Those guys went ballistic with blocks. They were pretty much anchors for the game tonight.
Hmm.
They held their own, played good defense, had good blocks, played
And,
really good
and we
transitional
also did say
defense.
we thought that Janai would lead the team in minutes. He was second on the team in minutes. Wendell, 26 minutes,
Yep.
and Janai with 24. Jalen Williams actually had 23. That was pretty surprising to me, too. He's going to play a bigger role in this team than I think any of us thought. I mean, Eli, you talked
Oh,
about
yeah.
his sleeper
Yeah,
16 in the expedition game. In the exhibition game,
I
sorry.
think that's yeah.
Yeah, that was a sleeper.
I think
I
that's
mean, 7.
I think that's just kind of like of a player he is.
Hmm.
I mean, he performs really well, but it's kind of just really quiet, and you'll see him do something really good during the game, but then he'll just kind of keep it mellow, and then he'll, at the end of the game, have 15, 16 points,
I
and
mean,
you're like, oh, wow,
he had 6 boards and
Yeah.
3 steals, so he did the dirty work.
And
Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't
that
turn the
was,
ball
yeah,
over much either.
no,
He's very efficient.
no.
yeah,
Speaking of turn, the one thing I did want to mention, I kept mentioning it when we were at the game, Connor. Uh, KD Johnson, he plays at 150% all the time. He doesn't ever slow down, which, I mean, depends on how you look at it. It's a really good or a really bad thing. At times, it's amazing, like diving for loose balls,
Mhm.
like he jumps, steals, and makes that incredible play down, like whatever. But there's times when is crazy out of position, or he just doesn't stop dribbling and look for that extra pass. Or I felt like we just kept noticing that. So I think as the season progresses, I want to see him almost tone that down a little bit, especially if he's looking to play at the next level. I think NBA coaches and GMs are looking for a guy who can focus a little bit more and see the floor a little bit better. Do you guys agree with that, or do you guys see the same stuff?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think that defensively, it's not much of a problem, or at least for the most part tonight. I didn't see any flaws in that. I think he may have gotten beat like once, but
Mm.
on the offensive side of the ball, he was taking the ball down the court a couple of times, and it seemed like he just didn't stop at all. He didn't look up. He kept his head down and just drove in, and it was some kind of crazy layup reverse that he missed. And it's like if you took like 2 more seconds, maybe past the ball, or even just hesitated and done some type of move to get the defender a little bit farther away from you,
Mhm.
you could have had that bucket a lot easier. I love his intensity. I love the player he is, but just take a deep breath and,
I
and, and
mean,
look at the floor.
yeah, I mean, he's also a guy, he didn't shoot very well tonight. He shot just 4 for 13 from the floor and 2 for 9 from behind the arc. So, I mean, the positive to that would be that he had the confidence to keep shooting. Bruce had the confidence to let him keep shooting. So I guess that's the positive in opening night, playing George Mason. But Eli, we were talking about come SEC time, like you got to find the hot hand. And if
yeah.
so, like if you're not the hot hand, I think you have to find it, so whoever it is.
Yeah. Well, we have plenty of. I think with this team this
Mhm.
year, we have a lot of options
Yeah,
to be able to find a hot hand, especially with watching Zepp during the Israel game and even in the expedition game a little bit. He's getting more confident with shooting the three, so hopefully he'll be an option going into the season. Wendell Green always knows how to light it up from beyond the arc. Maybe even Chance Westry, if he can find a little 3-point shot, that would be a good option for us. So I think for KD going into the rest of the season, he has to know that he's not the only one that can shoot beyond the 3-point line. He has to calm down a little bit. His intensity is there, just has to compose it a little bit on the
and I
offensive side.
do. You mentioned Zepp. I, at least personally, last year I did not appreciate his defense enough. This even just opening
Oh
night,
yeah,
he is the honey badger. He is ridiculous. I don't care what the stat
I think
line
he has the
says, how
best
many
footwork
steals he
in the.
had, how many steals he has, how many blocks or whatever stat line says. His footwork and how quick he is to defend guys with the ball is unreal. Seeing him in the press is crazy. I think he's going to give all of the SEC guards down the stretch a fit.
yeah. Him and KD are going to be really good defensive duos, just harassing point guards and shooting guards for the rest of the season. But that's what Zepp's bread and butter is, just defense.
Yeah.
He's really efficient too. He doesn't turn the ball over. So if we can just get him to start shooting the three and get more confident with shooting, he could really be a big player for us.
Yeah, I think he'll be. I mean, we mentioned it before, but he's going to be a leader on this team, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
And he might not be the loudest guy in the locker room, but he will show it on the floor with how hard he plays. He'll do the dirty work. He will dive for loose balls, play defense, be on the press all the time. I mean, Bruce was having our team press we were up by 20 points with like 30 seconds left in the game. So that's the motivation of this team. They're going to play for Bruce and for the jungle and for the students. But yeah, Auburn
For sure.
takes on. When's our next game? Friday.
USF Friday,
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
So if you're in Auburn, if
South
you're listening
Florida.
from Auburn, y'all better be there. Y'all better be there. The jungle will be rocking. Auburn University will be rocking
Dude.
as the Tigers look to move to 2-0 on the season and probably jump up the rankings
Hey.
from 15 just a little bit. But yeah,
This weekend's gonna be fun. We
fun
also got
weekend
a
Auburn football or Auburn sports.
football show for football show as well. Watch out for that on to be posted either Friday or Saturday. So be excited for that, and then we're gonna come with another post game on Friday with the South Florida game.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on, let's do it.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
do it.
All right, that wraps us up. Look out for Strictly Auburn this week on Eagle Eye YouTube. Eli's going to have a pretty sweet package for us, and I'm going to have a pretty dope article. But War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Eagle.